We love going on roller coaster road trips, but work and family obligations often don't leave much time for them. In August 2020, we had a rare weekend with absolutely nothing planned, and we knew that it was our opportunity to hit the road and ride some coasters. We didn't have a lot of time, but we knew we could get a few parks in with the time that we did have. I was able to schedule a half day off work on Friday, allowing us to hit the road around lunchtime, so we did all of our prep work on Thursday night. We packed the car, loaded some movies onto the kids' iPads, and bought way more junk food than we could possibly eat in 3 days. I started work early on Friday, allowing us to hit the road around 11 a.m. We had the kids in the back seat, energy drinks in the cup holders, and the first park programmed into our GPS. We are on our way. The drive from Cincinnati to Altoona went slower than we would have liked. Between traffic jams and our kids constantly asking to stop to go to the bathroom, it took us almost 7 hours to arrive at our first destination, Lakemont Park. Lakemont is a small, free-to-enter park in Altoona, Pennsylvania. It's as much of a city park as it is an amusement park. Lakemont provides a nice mix of basketball courts, mini golf, picnic shelters, and, of course, roller coasters. Lakemont is currently home to 3 coasters, although past versions of the park house many more. The star attraction at Lakemont is Leap the Dips, the world's oldest operating roller coaster. Our visit to Lakemont did not start off very well, with us driving past the entrance twice before we finally made our way into the park. Once we entered the park, we discovered that Leap the Dips was down for maintenance, but they are hopeful that it'll reopen later in the night. We spent some time exploring the park, taking pictures and video throughout. The maintenance team was hard at work on Leap the Dips, and a staff member at the station welcomed me to explore the station and transfer track area. Leap the Dips being down turned out to be a blessing in disguise, as I never would have been able to explore these areas if the ride was running. After exploring the park, it was time to hit some rides. First up was Skyliner, a classic John C. Allen Woody. Skyliner was fun and it offered a few moments of great airtime. After Skyliner, the kids enjoyed rides on the antique cars and the kiddie coaster, Little Leaper. At that time, we heard that Leap the Dips was open, so we rushed over to get our rides on the world's oldest coaster. We rode Leap the Dip several times, and then we got some food at the C2 Trolley House, an outdoor bar in the old bumper car shelter that seemed to be the neighborhood hangout. After a tasty meal and some time enjoying the live music, we headed back to the rides, completing the night with additional laps on Skyliner and then the go-karts. We stayed at Lakemont until it closed around 9 p.m. and then hit the road. Our first night's hotel was about an hour away from Lakemont, in between Lakemont and Knobels, our next park. We arrived at the hotel and were all in bed by 11 p.m. The next morning started with energy drinks and an hour drive to Knobels. We arrived at Knobels around 10:30 in the morning, well before the rides opened for the day. The first thing we did is get some breakfast. That's right, Knobels serves breakfast. I wish all parks did this. Seriously, Cedar Fair, get with the program. After we ate, it was time to hit the rides. We snagged a few rides on Phoenix early on, and I want to officially apologize for saying that this ride is overrated after our visit last year. I was blown away by how good Phoenix was this time around. I finally understand what all the hype is about. After Phoenix, we made our way through the rest of the park, riding as many rides as we could, and eating as much of Knobels' golden ticket winning food as we possibly could. Unfortunately, both Impulse and Flying Turns were down for maintenance all day, but there is still no shortage of things for us to do, and everyone in our family had a great time. By 6 p.m., we were out of ride tickets, and knowing that we had a 4-hour drive to our next destination, we begrudgingly hit the road. We love Knobels. It's a one-of-a-kind park with an atmosphere that you simply can't find anywhere else. If you've never experienced this gem of a park, you really owe it to yourself to make the journey someday. We drove the 4 hours to Pittsburgh, backtracking right past Lakemont. We were tempted to stop back in for one more ride on Leap the Dips, but it was already late and we knew that we had another long day ahead of us tomorrow. We ended the second day of our trip at a hotel 10 minutes outside of Kennywood. The final day of our weekend road trip started with a brief drive to Kennywood, arriving at the park shortly before it opened for the day. We entered the park and started the day with rides on Exterminator and the Whip, before making our way through the park, trying to get in as many of the park's classic coasters and flats as we possibly could. Kennywood is, in my opinion, the working definition of a hometown park. The locals love this park, and Kennywood's rich history has become a major part of the city of Pittsburgh's culture. On the day of our visit to Kennywood, the crowds are manageable and most of the coasters are running multiple trains. We got rides on all the major coasters except for Steel Curtain, as that ride is down for maintenance. It was pretty disappointing that a ride has been down for essentially its entire second operating season, and I really hope this isn't a sign of things to come for this model to coaster. The kids had a great time at Kennywood, with Madeline finally overcoming her fears and earning 5 new credits in one day. Gwen also had a great time, with the visit to Thomastown being her favorite part of the day. I know that some people really love to hate on Kennywood, but honestly, we really enjoy this park, and we're likely to visit again next year. It is a great mix of classic and modern attractions, and it's never lost touch with the community that calls it home. We departed Kennywood to start the drive home around 5 p.m. We would have liked to stay a little bit longer, but I had to work the next day and the kids are already tired, so it was time to hit the road. After a 5-hour drive, we arrived at home, unpacked the car, and all passed out cold in our beds. We had visited 3 parks in about 60 hours, and we all consider the trip to have been a huge success. Visiting new parks is a big part of being a coaster enthusiast, but when you have a family with 2 working parents and 2 school-age kids, it can be pretty hard to get out. We love these short weekend trips as they allow us to experience new parks and new coasters within the tight constraints of our schedule. Have you ever gone on a multi-park weekend road trip? If you have, I would love to hear about it in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe for more content from Coaster Center. Until next time, ride on, coaster fans.